But if they participated, should the reception not have been better?
If they did.
Yes.
Yeah, I think there needs to be a definition of what is effective public participation, because you cannot just conduct public participation that is not effective. Is it one timely? Was there information given out to the public, not just segments of the public, to the whole public? Was it accessible, that information? And the process of then the participation, was it iterative? Was it adaptable? Did you take on these views? And then to make sure that those views were taken on board, was it transparent? Can we verify that Ndu said this, City said this, Bright said this, and this is what it looks like? Because you remember the other day, Senator Cherargei went to Parliament and said, 60% of the population actually support extension of how can you verify that? You see? Yeah. And so those issues, and again, we are just looking at Parliament. According to the Public Participation Act of 2018, because these things have been done before, public participation has to happen across all levels of government, including the judiciary when they're conducting administrative duties. So it doesn't happen sometimes or often. Again, so we need to...
When has it happened? I mean, for it, when has it... The thing is, when has it happened? Do we have evidence that this is what... When has it happened?
No, I have not seen it happen.
So it has never happened?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Who owns... I think it's also for us to understand or maybe appreciate from a... I don't know if it's an opinionated thing or fact. Who owns the process of public participation?
As currently set up, because with the Public Participation Act of 2018, the fact that they say it should be conducted at all levels of government, it means at that level of government, that particular official owns the duty to conduct effective public participation.
Right.
If it's at the county level, then the county government has a responsibility to conduct. If it's at the cabinet level, there's a minister, there's officers in that ministry that ought to conduct effective public participation. If it's a parliamentary bill, then there's the parliament. It has its officers who, like it happened in the DP's case, conducted public participation.
Okay.
Now, when you want to open another entity called a registrar and give it blanket powers to decide what is urgent, what is not, what can come, what is, and it basically set up the structure of what public participation should look like, you're mutilating the constitution.
This is true. Yeah. So then, because the questions come about in terms of a guarantee, Beaches, maybe you can jump in here as well, in terms of a guarantee of what will actually be done, because I tend to see that there's lethargy for people to participate because you question whether your participation will actually be taken into consideration when the final thing is being done. Or is it a rubber stamp moment, a box, tick, where people are saying, okay, well, we did it, right? We got so many hundreds of thousands of people to send in memoranda, or we all met at Bomas, or whatever it is that we did. But how can you be sure that your participation as a Kenyan is actually going to be considered? Or is it just going to be some papers that we're going to, stuff in a box and push under the table and say, well, we did it? So what are the safeguards for guarantee that Kenyans will come out and say, actually, you know what? I think this is what it should look like. And then who is the one who says, all right, let's take all of these things into consideration. Of the 1 million that we got, there's similarity in 400,000. So we can now come up and say, these are the 3 things Kenyans are saying. Another 500,000, there's similarity in them, and we can chalk up and say there are 7. And so out of the public participation, there are 11 considerations that need to be made. And now we're going to add that to the bill. Who does that? Or who should do that?
Yeah, so the people should do that. You have a role, and we did that recently. You saw what happened when the parliament did not take on board feedback from the public. There was extensive protest, and some of them have even called it an attempted coup. But we as young people from Dandora to Westlands went on the street and said, no, hell no to this, right? And that's one of the ways we can exercise our sovereign power, right? So